This podcast is brought to you by our good friends at Verizon, a proud supporter of the global game and the players who inspire us on and off the pitch. As an official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026, Verizon is honored to help share the stories of the world's top players, including the incredible women who are changing the game at every level. Stay tuned for more on how Verizon can get you connected to the game that we love. Hello, and welcome back to the Give and Go. I'm your coach Reynoso with my boy
Soltero. What's up, y'all?
It's the UCL recap, folks. Subscribe to the channel. We're covering every single UEFA Champions League game this season, and today we're starting off with the banger matchup of Manchester City going up against Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu. With all this pressure cooking on Xabi Alonso, what can he do in this high-octane match? Well, it ends up being a 2-1 loss to this Manchester City side after going up 1-0 with Rodrigo. The returner Rodrigo scoring his first goal in 30-plus games. You're thinking Real Madrid is going to do it. But then Manchester City responds within the first half, flips the result, and sees the game out. Manchester City 2, Real Madrid 1.
Madrid played really hard in this match. I cannot fault the hustle, the work rate, the shift that all 11 players put in at home in the Bernabeu against a good Manchester City side. It just didn't fall their way. It really didn't. I mean, Rodrigo did what he had to do after going 32 games without a goal. Yeah. It's a hell of a finish. But outside of that, I mean, Madrid did craft a couple chances, didn't fall. Nothing concrete. But, I mean, I don't think City did much either. I thought it was a really even match. City get a scrappy goal with O'Reilly, and I think get a little lucky with the Rudiger penalty. And City somehow secured 3 points here. I think a draw would have been more fair. But this is just kind of the Madrid experience right now. It's not really going their way, just in general, kind of no matter how hard they work.
Yeah, that is a good takeaway. Dude, the images, Rodrigo was on the floor like this was a knockout stage match with the effort that he put in. Carreras, I thought he had a great game, bro. Like, might have been the best Real Madrid player on the pitch today. And then Vinny Jr. was doing Vinny Jr. things in the second half and posing himself. He had a couple opportunities, the header specifically, that didn't go his way. But yeah, I agree. It wasn't the worst performance for Real Madrid, and it also wasn't the most dominant performance from Manchester City either. I was interested to see how they flipped the result. It felt like a weird match overall for Manchester City. The way they went about getting their goals. I mean, Nico O'Reilly scoring his first goal for Manchester City. That was a nice moment, but that isn't who you usually expect from Manchester City to get on the score sheet. He ties it up, and then obviously the penalty call to make it 2-1. It's an interesting result because I feel like so much of the headline, so much of the dialogue was about Xabi Alonso and how after that Celta Vigo loss, this is potentially his last game as Real Madrid manager and how this could really become a very negative situation for Madridistas all around the world. But after a result like this, I don't think I'm on the Xavi out train personally, man.
I'm not either. I just think you look back at what happened last year with Ancelotti, it just didn't really go Madrid's way throughout the entire season. Maybe there hasn't been much improvement, but what has changed for me is the work rate. I think that has been so notable, the off-ball movement this season under Xabi Alonso, and also the player integration. I think he's made a lot of changes. He's not scared to change the lineup week to week. We didn't see that at all with Ancelotti. So I think, honestly, this Xabi project needs over a season.
It does.
Like, you need a lot of time for him to really implement his ideas. So I just think it's going to be a weird season for Madrid. We'll see high highs with obviously the quality that they have on the pitch. But as we're seeing this whole month, we're going to see some big lows too with a team that's still trying to figure out who they are. And for City, an interesting tactic in this game, because once they got that second goal, they just kind of sat back and decided to react to what Madrid do instead of get the ball themselves and take it to Madrid. Interesting decision for Pep Guardiola. It worked. It doesn't seem like a City way to do things.
Not at all.
So I agree. I think overall this is a very weird match.
Yeah, Savinho became Shea Gilgeous-Alexander at the end, just drew foul after foul after foul, bro. That was crazy how often he just got caught on the counter. I'm with you on Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid. The more I think about it, bro, I just think this is Real Madrid's level. I don't think a coach can come in and bring them higher than what they are right now. And it really isn't an insult to this Real Madrid team. I think they have good players, but I just think people get caught up in the 2010s, the glory of the 2010s and what they were able to achieve with a lineup that you look back at And I mean, they had the best players in their positions playing in that team. In the center back position, you had Sergio Ramos, the fullbacks, you had Marcelo, you had Dani Carvajal, the best in the world. The midfield, Toni Kroos, Casemiro, Modric, the best in the world. And obviously up top, I don't even have to name the names, bro. It'd be disrespectful to even do that. But when you look at Real Madrid now, I don't think they have more than one, maybe two players that you could remark as the best in their position in the world. One of those players being a guy that didn't play today, Mbappe, who was out, and I think plays a big role in Real Madrid's offensive identity. But beyond that, you look at the defensive line, you look at the midfield with Bellingham and his form this whole season, the front line too. I don't think they have the best player in their position on this team.
Yeah.
And I think that's ultimately an indication of where this Real Madrid squad is. Doesn't really have to do much with the coach, more so the players themselves, and the fact they don't have Mbappe obviously plays a big role here. So I'm team Xavi stays. I agree. It's going to be a long project, but you got to give it time. And these players definitely have to find their best form.
Yeah, I think we could consider Madrid to be honestly kind of like a dark horse team in this Champions League. If we say they're not at an elite level, I would still be very scared to play them in a knockout setting, especially if Mbappe is healthy and in form. Because I think an Mbappe starting presence in this match, I think we would have definitely seen more than one goal from Madrid, just straight up. He's been in insane form in front of goal. And again, if the team around him is working as hard as they did today, I think they would have gotten a better result than we saw.
And all things considered, I mean, after they conceded this loss, I went straight to the table, and I thought they'd be lower. They're in the automatic qualification zone, 7th place. Not that bad. I think all things considered, that's pretty high. They're like on top of Liverpool, on top of Atletico Madrid.
Jeez.
I think they're okay. They're okay as Manchester City moves up to 4th place now with 13 points. But yes, Real Madrid loses this game. Manchester City, big 3 points away from home. Let's see them continue their form.
Yeah, and Madrid, their last 2 matches, just if we want to consider them as an automatic top 8 team, they've got, I would say, some tricky tests. Not hard at all, but tricky in Monaco, and then ending Champions League with Benfica.
Okay, they should win.
They should win those. I could see maybe a draw, a surprise in one of those, but I mean, at the end of the day, both winnable, very, very winnable for Madrid. So they might be able to secure a top 8 finish for sure.
Let's move to first place in the UCL. Arsenal. I love their showing today against Club Brugge. The only team to have won every single game so far in the UCL. They win away from home 3-0. But for me, it's the Madueke goals, bro.
Good Lord,
oh my
man.
God. That first goal, driving through the defense from the halfway line, finds space outside the box, blasts it, top right corner, hits the post, goes down. It's a golazo, bro. Yeah. A golazo. Madueke celebrating. Arsenal just continuing with that momentum, with that flow. They score 2 more goals. Martinelli with his own golazo as well.
Yeah.
3-0 victory. Club Brugge silenced at home.
Yeah, not much to gather from this game other than just a really good dominant performance from Arsenal. Again, the Madueke goals, the Zubimendi cross on the second one, brilliant floater over the top of the box. It was just really good performance here from Arsenal, specifically from Madueke. For Bruges, just kind of the same story. They work hard. The play isn't as magical as last year. 3-0 is a little harsh, but at the end of the day, that's how good Arsenal is.
That's who Arsenal is.
Bruges played hard in this match. They really did square up physically to Arsenal. Didn't matter. 3-0.
3-0. The Bruges dream is dead, though. It's dead.
Where they at? Let me see. Let me see.
Man. It's dead. It's dead in my eyes. I'm declaring it dead.
It's dead. It's dead. 31st. It's completely dead. -8 goal difference. Only 4 points after 6 matches. It's bad.
You don't want to be in the 30s after 6 games. That's my thing. You don't want to be in the 30s.
No.
We have Juventus hosting Pafos FC in a game where I just wanted to see how long Pafos could go before conceding a goal. And brother, they went 67 minutes. I think that deserves a round of applause. Because that's classic Pafos performance right there. But it's the CONCACAF players that break the deadlock. Americans saving Juventus and AC Milan, one could say. With Weston McKennie scoring a GOLAZO top right bins to make it 1-0. And then Jonathan David, who had been quiet the entire game, gets one opportunity, puts it into the back of the net. 2-0 victory for Juventus at home.
I love how sneakily offensive McKennie can randomly get. Because this was just a hell of a goal, looking like his compatriot Timothy Weah, honestly, with how dynamic he was on the turn. He's going wide. It's diagonal. He knows he has to lift it, get a lot of power behind it. He does exactly that. Juve desperate for a goal at that time, and it was McKennie who gave it to him. Just a brilliant finish, man. Nothing to take away. It's top class for McKennie.
How does it feel, man? I mean, you got these Americans scoring routinely now, man.
Routinely, bro.
Pepe, Balogun yesterday. Today, McKennie.
Yeah.
Must be nice, man. I don't think I've had a single one this year, bro.
No, it's really nice, man.
God.
It's so promising for World Cup hopes.
Exactly.
It really is. And especially with Poch and just how he's changed the mentality of the whole U.S. men's national team camp in general. Now it's just about piecing it together. And Poch seems to have some idea of how to put it all together. So it's very, very exciting.
Pafos, is their dream dead? They have to face off against Chelsea next. But then Slavia Prague, they can get 3 points at home against Slavia Prague. There's a chance. They're only 1 point off of the playoff round right now.
I feel like you need 11 points. I'm going to say you need 11 to get top 24. Maybe you sneak in 10, but you'll have to get lucky.
Yeah.
You'll have to get lucky. So the way I see it, Pafos have to tie Chelsea at the very least, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Let's move on to Bayer Leverkusen versus Newcastle United. Bayer Leverkusen hosting this Premier League side. I like this game. This game was back and forth. This game had a lot of action. Newcastle could have won this game 3-1, 4-1. They hit the post twice. But Bayer Leverkusen and a stroke of genius from Grimaldo with the beautiful dummy and then finish ties the game up, makes it 2-2. Bayer Leverkusen getting out of this game with a point against this tough Newcastle team.
I thought Gordon played so well in this match, really showcasing just the talent that he is. Newcastle, though, in general, very Newcastle-esque performance. But this time over the course of 90 minutes where we see Newcastle just, not play great. I thought the last 15 minutes were poorly handled from them. The moment they went up 2-1, I thought they should have put this game to bed, like truly. But instead they let the pressure pile on them. Leverkusen did well to just nonstop attack Newcastle for the last 15 minutes. But I think that's on Newcastle. I think they could have sized up better.
Post twice after they went up 2-1.
That's what I'm saying. They should have finished. They should have finished those chances. I think Newcastle kind of dropped the ball in this one. They should have won this.
They should have. No, I agree. They should have won. They should have won this, and they allowed Bayer Leverkusen the entry to get back into this game. And props to them for being able to do it. Grimaldo's goal, I got to highlight, it really was such a beautiful class moment to tie the game up. Bayer Leverkusen, I think, should feel really good about themselves getting a point out of this match. Newcastle, though, still in 12th place at the moment. Leverkusen in 20th.
And the thing is, all credit to Leverkusen for taking the advantage that Newcastle gave them and to get that second goal. I mean, it was honestly a brilliant goal, as you already perfectly described. And just looking at Leverkusen in general, while the start of the season was very poor, they've low-key been brewing something. And the way I see them, especially with their last two matches, they play Olympiacos. They're going to probably win that match at the very least. And then they play Villareal at home. They're going to beat Villareal for sure. I actually consider Leverkusen to be a feisty team. Like, I think Leverkusen will be fun. It's such a young team that can score bangers. And like I said, I think their form over the last month and a half has been very promising compared to how they started. So I like Leverkusen right now. I don't think they'll do anything crazy, but I like them.
Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on Bayer Leverkusen. You just mentioned them. Now we got to talk about them. Villareal. Villareal having one of the such a disappointing UCL season, bro. 35th place.
Trash.
35th place.
Trash. 1 point.
1 point. 1 point. And it's not like they're facing the toughest opponents out here. They simply cannot win a game in the UEFA Champions League, which is so contrasting of how they're dominating La Liga at the moment as a top three side. you turn on these European nights and suddenly Villarreal has no idea how to play.
Yeah.
No idea how to play. And they end up losing to FC Copenhagen, who does deserve a credit for this performance. I think they finally showed out the way that I have hoped that they would this whole tournament. But Villarreal, man, making this victory possible for Copenhagen with a very disappointing result at home.
They're like the anti-Atalanta. Because Atalanta right now, poor in Serie A, amazing in Champions League.
Yeah.
Villarreal, amazing in the league, poor in Champions League. If you're a fan of a side like this, what would you rather have? A really good league and a poor Champions League, or a really good Champions League showing and a poor league showing?
God.
What would you
That's
rather
a great
have?
question. I think if you're a true fan of the team, you'd rather the domestic performances. You'd rather the league performances.
Right.
I think
it's
you
more
would.
consistent. Week in, week out, you're winning rather than just twice a month.
Because some people are at work. They're not even watching these games midweek. Like, you don't even get to see your team be good, right? But on the weekends, you get your beer. You put your jersey on. I think there's more of a ritual there.
Yeah.
And it's ultimately that pride that you're seeking, that you want domestically. I think that low-key matters to you more, especially if you're a Villareal team that knows you ultimately won't win the UCL.
Damn, I can't argue against that at all.
Yeah.
At all, bro. It's 100% domestic league then.
Yeah, 100%. I think you'd rather be in Villarreal situation than Atalanta situation.
Yeah.
I think you would. Copenhagen, 24th place, though. Right on the cusp of playoffs. 7 points. I have not looked at the schedule. Who do they face off against next?
Let's see. Okay, Napoli. And they're hosting Napoli.
Okay.
That's big.
Okay, that helps.
And then they go on the road to Barcelona. They will lose that match. But Napoli, if they win, they'll finish only with 10 points. Copenhagen ain't making it.
Maybe you need to bring it down to 9, bro.
Copenhagen ain't making it, bro. They're not making it.
Athletic Club ties PSG 0-0. Claps in the stadium as Athletic Club is able to, on paper, tie the defending champions of the UCL. I mean, this is a historic result. This is a big result. This is one of the biggest results this entire season, as they hold one of the most potent offenses in Paris down to 0 goals. Is this a real 0-0? What is this result?
I didn't see much of this match, to be honest, because I don't rate Athletic this season. Maybe I should have caught more of it. I caught the last 15 minutes, and what I saw, honestly, was a really good end of the match for Athletic. I can't take that away from them. I wonder how many chances PSG created over the course of the 90 minutes. Not 100% sure. But either way, the way this match finished, Athletic looked like very proud of just the fans in general. They look very proud of this performance. So maybe this is Athletic's best performance of the season.
I'm becoming a little frustrated with how little I'm seeing of PSG's starting 3 frontline playing together. Dembele out with the flu this week.
Right.
He's been out a lot this year.
A lot.
And I feel like I barely, have ever seen Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, and Doué start together this year. And look, I understand that Luis Enrique loves rotation. He has the depth to do it. And right now, early on in the season, or about to be halfway through, you can get away with it. It's fine. He's starting Mayulu pretty consistently now. Good talent. Getting a little too many minutes, in my opinion. And you get a performance like this where you don't score a single goal against Athletic Club. I just think for PSG's overall general success, you gotta start getting your players back. You gotta start getting your starting lineup back to its full potential at some point in the season. I'm annoyed that it hasn't happened yet, man.
Yeah.
Maybe in January we finally start seeing it. Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, and Desiree do it. But even in this game, Doué got like 30 minutes in it as well. He's also going through his up and downs this season. At some point, these players are gonna have to find their form. They're gonna have to find their fluidity with one another. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they are the defending champions, and what they did last year was truly incredible. I'm starting to get a little concerned that it might take a little too long for them to reach that point. That's all.
I'm with you on the frustration because I just want to see PSG flow, man. Mm-hmm. There's nothing prettier than prime PSG offense, truly. Thing is, I'm going to give them very special treatment here. I haven't really criticized PSG this year, and I'm not going to until they start losing games in February. If they're losing in February, then I'm going to start going in on this team. But until then, they could lose every game for the next 2 months.
I don't know about that.
No, they can.
They can. They lose in every game.
I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to completely ignore it until February. If they're losing in February, then all right. But if they start winning in February, bro, then I would be very scared to play this team, man, truly.
Right.
I just think this team's such an anomaly with the talent that they have.
Right.
I think they can really turn it on. And at the end of this match, Luis Enrique had the biggest smile on his face.
No, man.
He didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I think he understands the talent that he has. He knows what his team is truly capable of, so he doesn't mind a draw on the road. And they're sitting third place right now. Even with subpar performances from PSG standard, they're third place in Champions League. So for Luis Enrique, I think even he's like, all right, boys, we don't got to turn it on until February.
Okay. I agree. I agree.
I'm at with this team.
I had my rant. I said what I said. I'll leave it at that. I can't go any further. You're right. I'll leave it right there. Qarabag losing today to Ajax 4-2. Yeah. This one did hurt me a little bit.
It did hurt me
because this is the best moment for Ajax this whole season, as they were in last place for a good amount of time, but they get their first victory in the UCL, coming at the demise of this Qarabag team that I think needed points in this matchup. They're now in 22nd place with 7 points, still in the playoff round, but you're at home. At one point, you were up in this game 2-1, but then it's 3 unanswered goals from Ajax in the last 15 minutes to give them 3 points. Tough result to concede at home for this Qarabag side.
This was a must-win. At home against basically the worst team in the Champions League. They had a lead after 50 minutes. You'd think they'd figure it out. And especially with how magical they've been, and we've highlighted how direct and offensive and aggressive this Qarabag team is. And against a shaky Ajax side, it was set up. It was set up for the 3 points here. But Ajax come roaring back. They get 3 really good goals unanswered. They end up winning the match 4-2. It was a really classic Qarabag display for 50 minutes. They completely imploded for the last 20, 30 minutes in this match. Thing is that we've seen it before. In that match against Athletic, they played very, very good for 20, 30 minutes, and then the floodgates opened up and Qarabag had no response. Same thing happened in this match, and it is ultimately a massive flaw in this team. For as good as they are offensively, their defense just opens up sometimes, man. And against any team, if they just take advantage, Qarabag will have no chance.
Yeah, and it's been a bad string of results now, starting with a tie to Chelsea. That, in my opinion, is a win, tying Chelsea. But then they lose to Napoli 2-0. They lose to Ajax 4-2. They're losing grip of that good position they had in the standings. The last 2 games they have remaining is at home against Frankfurt. There's a chance. There's a chance. And then they finish off at Anfield against Liverpool. I think this Qarabag experience is going to get very, very dramatic to see if they're able to get any sort of points to remain in contention of these playoff spots.
They're going to have to lock in like crazy against Frankfurt.
Oh, yeah.
Thing is, Frankfurt, they're so offensive. I think there's going to be a ton of goals in that match.
100%. Let's go over to Benfica versus Napoli. Jose Mourinho's 150th game managing, I believe, in the UCL. As his side takes down this Napoli side 2-0. Only the second victory for Benfica, but a necessary victory as they host the Italians at home, and they now put themselves in 25th place, literally right on the edge, on the outside looking in of the playoff region. A must-needed 3 points as Napoli now falls to 23rd. Sound the alarms for them, bro. 2 mid-teams ultimately going at it with Benfica topping Napoli.
Dude, Napoli, come on, man.
Losing grip.
Just losing grip. They're in 23rd place. Their remaining matches are honestly pretty difficult. Copenhagen.
They lost 6-2 to PSV at one point. Damn.
6-2 to PSV. Damn. They played Copenhagen, Napoli, Chelsea to finish. This could get very, very scary for Napoli. It truly could. And I'm just so disappointed in this side. I'm just so disappointed. Benfica played great, honestly. I don't want to take anything away from that, but yeah, this battle was very much like Copenhagen, Villareal, 2 bottom feeder teams. Benfica get the advantage here to give them a boost to try to qualify. Benfica have a chance.
Who do they play?
They play Juve.
Yeah.
That's winnable.
Doable.
That's doable. It's almost no different than Napoli, honestly. But then they host Real Madrid.
Okay.
Tough. I would say that's tough, but it's kind of there. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I just think 2 very, very weak teams at the end of the day.
But I do think if Napoli ends up not qualifying, that would be the biggest name out of all the non-qualifiers. The teams that get eliminated, that would be the biggest name to not make it. Because ultimately, I'm fine with Frankfurt not making it. Club Brugge, Slavia Prague, those names make sense to me. Villareal is the only other one I could maybe contest with because they're doing so well in the league. But Napoli not making it, on name, on paper, on brand, would be the biggest name to not make it to the next round.
Yeah, by far, man.
By far.
But by far. It's just so disappointing. I cannot get over that. For Napoli, just what a weird season.
Weird season.
What a weird season. They get some good results in Serie A, but Champions League has just not been falling their way whatsoever.
Bodo Glimt ties Borussia Dortmund. Bodo Glimt's third tie in the UCL this season as Dortmund goes up first with Julian Brandt scoring, getting a brace ultimately in this match, but Bodo staying in it, staying within the match, and in the 75th minute, Hauge ties it up, makes it 2-2, and Bodo escapes Germany with the point.
Yeah, it's just, this is a crazy. And Dortmund should have had so many more goals than they ended up having. Expected goals of 2.9. I really do think Dortmund should have had 3, if not 4 goals in this match. And they get punished for not taking their chances. Bodo Glimt with a really good second goal to equalize, where there's a lot of deflections, a lot of accidental play, but Hauge steps up when he needed to. Ball falls to him perfectly. Right place, right time. Lethal finish. And that's been Bodo, man. So fun offensively, but my God. They're so loose at the back. Dortmund seriously should have had 4 goals in this match.
This might end up hurting Dortmund's automatic qualification hopes. They're now in 10th place, 1 point behind Atletico Madrid, who's in 8th, and Liverpool, who's in 9th. This might end up costing them, bro, because tying here when they should have won, they now have to face off against one of the best Premier League sides this season, one of the best coach sides on the Prem this season, just a beautiful club in Tottenham away from home, and then they got to play against Inter Milan at home. 2 tough sides. They can win those games, but they will be tough games. But you might end up looking back at this result as the reason for why you have to play that extra set of matches in the playoff rounds rather than skipping it by going through an automatic qualification. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they'll have to win both games. To, I think, finish in the top 8, they will now have to win both. They are both winnable, though, for Dortmund. That's the thing. I won't be surprised if they pull it off, but it makes it pretty difficult.
Let's do daily awards. Goal of the day, performance of the day, match of the day. For goal of the day, for me, it's an easy pick. I have to go Madueke. I have to go Madueke.
I want to give it to McKennie.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to go Madueke just because he has to ghost past a couple defenders. He has to get big with some pressure behind him. Yeah. And then the blast is just perfection, man. The ball just rises all the way to the top underneath the crossbar. It's a banger. Yeah,
Madueke was happy in Belgium. That's why I'm going with him for performance of the day as well. Brace to kill off the Club Brugge side. 2 really good goals. I'm sticking with this Arsenal flow. Give me Madueke for performer of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think just both goals, especially in a time where, you know, Arsenal looking for guys to just step up from a solo perspective. A lot of Arsenal's team play, you know, usually it's been Martinelli or Trossard with the big performances, but finally Madueke gets his day, and it was needed for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think so. It really was. Match of the day. Best match today. I'm going to go with the City Madrid, man. I really am, because it's just so dramatic. There's always so much on the line between both teams. A lot of quality, a lot of good moments. It got physical. I'm going to go with the classic easy pick here, City Madrid.
I had the most fun with the Juve Pafos game. Pafos themselves honestly should have had 2 goals. They created so much offense, and then at the end, Juve took over. Kenyan Yildiz has a really good performance, especially in the first half, and then to see both McKennie and David eventually get their goals, I thought they were really good goals too, for just really entertaining match in Italy.
100%. That's daily awards right there. Let's finish off with Linked Up by Verizon, where we answer your questions that you guys send to us on Instagram. Linked Up by Verizon. Last time we were asked about the most overrated side, but this time Jonathan asked, who is the most underrated team in the UCL this season?
Man, this is interesting because it's hard to ignore Atalanta at 5th place. Really hard to ignore them. And when you see their UCL performances, they look great. They look really, really good. How much of it is real? That's the tough part to answer because their league form has been so poor as of late. You look at everybody else, though. Everyone's pretty accurately rated. Like, Atleti have been average by their standards. Madrid have been average. Liverpool have been average. Tottenham, Newcastle, Chelsea have all been average. I would maybe want to give Sporting a shout because they've worked really hard to earn their 10 points. So I might say Sporting.
I like that.
I might say Sporting.
Yeah, they are a top 14 side in the UCL, but they deserve a little more credit, more people to watch their games because they're right between Chelsea and Barcelona right now in the standings. They played well. Let's go start at Sporting CP for the most underrated side in the UCL right now. Folks, that is all for today. That is the UCL recap. Comment down below your reaction to any of these games, and we'll be back tomorrow, or Friday actually, with our weekend preview. Till next time, guys. Peace.